Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're back on this secondary live stream. Good to see you. We had to separate that out, unfortunately. Guys, give me a sec. Hold on. There we go. That's better. Hey, good to see you all. We were trapped in a different profile, not my profile. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. We're back again for this post coverage. Unfortunately, that's what we had to do. We had to separate our coverage. I could show you the sentencing, and then we sort of had to like chop it, and that was it. Justice Beale is the one you had to hear from, and you did in full. So we finally get to hear what Erin is sentenced with for her crimes. 33 years will be her like minimum here. She will be a very she will be an old woman, and I hate using the word old, but she will be an old woman by the time she gets even a shot at ever walking foot in the public again. Should she even make it to 83? You know, not everyone is lucky enough in life, and I use the word luck in a strange way there, but not everyone gets to 83. So it's a long time in prison. Uh, we will see what happens. So 28 days from now, Erin has the opportunity to lodge an appeal. So she has until early October to lodge her appeal to on whatever facet or whatever part of this entire thing, whether it was part of the trial, directions, sentencing, she will have those 28 days to lodge that appeal. I suspect it'll be forthcoming. I just have a feeling that appeal will be happening at some point. I think they already signaled that that was probably going to be a case. So Wendy R says, "Thanks, Ping, for keeping us up to date with this. You are welcome. I appreciate it. It's been an extremely long road to get here, but we've done it. It's sort of nice personally to be sort of at this point of it. We started off in April. Well, we started off in 2023 covering this, and then I went out to trial in late April, and it sort of consumed my entire year since April. We've been in and out of the Supreme Court since then. But it was an interesting insight to be able to bring you live footage from inside of that courtroom, which I never thought we'd be able to do. The reporting restrictions around this trial was so strict. I didn't think they would ever give us a camera that we could broadcast online. So you all got a small look at what we got through the trial. So that was Justice Christopher Beale. He was the trial justice who we had throughout the entire thing, and he's the one who conducted the trial. And you guys got to look at him in his sentencing of Erin. So there you go. Hey, good to see you all. Hey, audio, great to have you. Mel Mac, Wendy R, Moonlight Views here, Dan Yee's here, Marjorie Morse, Laura T, Moonlight View, audio's here, Andrew's here. Good to see you. Andrew says 10 years, 10 measly years for each life. I don't know if that's, I mean, if you want to, there's several ways you can look at it, right? So it's divided by 3 people. It's like 11 years per person if you want to do it direct cut like that. The other way you look at it is they were served concurrently. So it's almost it's almost really 99 years of jail time. Really, it's more than that. 99 plus 25 or whatever it was. So it was like 124 years of jail time, but it's served concurrently, not consecutively. So there you go. Uh, I think there will be some shock and awe within the community today at the sentence, but I'm not going to double guess or second guess Justice Beale. He is the one who is in the position to do that. and he is the one to hand down these type of sentences. That's his job. So, Moonlight View says, "Good to see you." Yeah, yeah. Woozy, hey Wooz, how are you? Solitary confinement for most of it too. She has been in solitary confinement for many months, especially since the media coverage picked up. We heard this in the when we had the victim impact statements. We also had a period of that court day where they were discussing these type of conditions in the afternoon about what she was doing in jail and what she was experiencing, and they were trying to tell us she's in this cell for up to 23 hours a day, and if she wants to go anywhere in that prison, she has to be escorted by two prison guards, even to the library. She has to be escorted and taken, and due to the complexities of rostering and shortcomings of staff within the prison, often this doesn't happen. So she ends up staying in the cell for longer periods than she should do. Sergeant Pepper said, "I guess it's because she had no prior criminal record." Yeah, I'm guessing that is some of the weight of it. I think the imprisonment conditions were also played a part. We also heard on that day about a few weeks ago now, they were saying that they could not give a day when she would ever leave that Gordon unit. They were saying, "We don't know if it'll ever happen." They didn't say never. They said they never like to say never, but they couldn't say when it would happen. They're like, it could be a year from now, it could be 25 years from now. So they didn't know when the media and the public interest would die down to the point where she was no longer a target to other prisoners. So the Justice Beale said she's not a threat to other prisoners. Other prisoners are a threat to her, and that was part of his consideration in his sentencing. So no, they didn't mention two jails or prisons. It's the same prison. It's just a different section in it. So she will be in Dame Phyllis Frost. I mean, I think that's the same one. Now I'm getting confused. But she gets moved to different units. So there's like various ones. There's like general population. Then there's like another one that's slightly more restrictive. She was in that one for a period of time. And then now she's in this other unit where she's like full isolated. It's like a protection unit. So they're just different parts of the prison system in the same facility. So there you go. Marlene said she has doors. Doesn't have to. So she has a back door. It's sort of like a little courtyard onto her cell, and she can't open it, but she can request the guards come in or the prison staff come in and open them for her, and she can spend either some time outside or she can just have them open for fresh air in her cell. Lux says, "What was the sentence? I just came in. Based on previous cases in Australia, I'm guessing it wasn't as long as it should be." 33 years will be the non-parole period. 33. So she will be 83 years old should she get a shot at parole. Hold on, I have a cat. I don't know if you can see this, but this cat wants to jump all over me. Hi, say hi, cat. See? I don't know why he wants to lie on me today. Yeah. So that was the sentencing. We've been waiting a long time to hear that sentence. Her trial finished in July. She was found guilty back in July, and it's been almost a couple of months since we had that final day of the jury deliberation, and then they came to a verdict and gave their verdict in court. So been a couple of months now. Gail said 33 years before she can try get out. Yeah, I think people got to understand it's not a certainty. It's not like she'll hit 33 years in jail and she'll just be able to get out. She has to pass a lot of different requirements from the parole board. And being that what her offending is, it doesn't mean she'll ever get out. They could assess her as being a risk to society, a risk to victims still, all sorts of things. And we've seen it in other cases, especially high profile cases where, you know, they just never get out because the parole board thinks that they haven't, repented for their sins. They've shown no remorse. They've been bad in prison. They haven't improved themselves. There's been no rehabilitation. So who knows what happens over the next 33 years? But I would suggest that she would not get out on her first go. Most high profile prisoners don't succeed on their first try at parole. Most of them are on like their second, third, fourth, fifth try at parole. So Danny Mitchell said if she was in the US, she wouldn't be getting out. Well, this is true. If this was in America, if it was a DP state, she most likely would have been sentenced to death. Death or a life sentence, like life with no parole. But that's our sentencing mandates in Victoria, and the judge had to weigh what he was given in the different arguments from each side, and that's what he had to do. So, Audio Power said, I wrote to the parole board 2 years ago to say Paul Charles Denya should never get parole. The Frankston serial killer. Yep, that was a thing a while ago. Eric and Lyle are not getting out unless the governor changes that. Yeah, so we saw in Eric and Lyle in California, everyone thought they were getting out. And then the parole board was like, nope, nope, we don't think you are ready to go. Wendy asked, did they let people out earlier if they come up with bad medical issues? I mean, no. There's been murderers who have died in jail from very horrific illnesses like liver cancer or uh, you know name some other horrific cancer. They have died in prison. Like there's been a lot of that happen. There's been a lot of prisoners who have died with really, really, really horrific cancers where they've spent their final days in a lot of pain. So no. Gail said the UK and Australia both have less time unless you get a whole life order. I think a lot of people were expecting a whole life order today for Erin Patterson. Um, I had some feelings a couple of weeks ago that that wasn't going to happen. The judge in the victim impact statement hearing, the judge took a very dim view to her conditions in jail. Even on that day, he was very unimpressed. He was saying things like, "Was very inhumane, right?" Like he's like, "We have to keep them in jail, but at least treat them fairly." And he's like, "Her conditions are inhumane." So there was a little bit of signaling even back then that he was probably going to weigh her sort of prison environment in his sentence. So yeah, that is something he wasn't very impressed. The thing what he wasn't impressed about is they couldn't tell him how long. So when we had that hearing back in August, neither the jail nor the prosecution could sort of give him an estimate. They're like, well, how long do you think she has to stay in isolation for? And neither of them could come up with a number. They're like, well, how long's a piece of string, really? They're like, we don't know. It could be, like I said, 1 year or 25 years, and they couldn't tell. And I think that weighed heavily in the sentencing today that they couldn't say when she would get into that general population and have a more just normal jail experience where she's not confined to that cell for 23 hours a day. And I think that played into it, unfortunately. Marlene said, remember, she already has. Marlene says, remember, she already has had many cancers, according to her. Well done. Well done. That is true. She, as you heard the judge say, that, they don't believe that at all. Wendy R said, the way she offed people was more inhumane. No comparison to her inconveniences in confinement. I agree. To put people who you supposedly loved, this comes straight from Erin. She loved them like they were her family, like her biological family. And then to say, "Oh, I'm going to kill them in the most horrific way. Like you heard in the victim impact statements in his sentencing remarks, the things that the family members witnessed throughout their final days in hospital. Yeah, it's very different from shooting someone. I know shooting someone's also, murder, but it's quick and they die. And you can at least say they weren't cruel to them. But feeding someone death cap poison and death cap mushrooms and watching them decline like this for 3 or 4 days until they're intubated, transferred to a hospital, have liver transplants and all these invasive medical exams done to them, and then they die. I mean, that is akin to a serial killer keeping someone and torturing them for a number of days before they finally kill them. So it is sadistic. I agree. Audio Power said, I'm worried that the sentence is not a deterrent. It is a method that is attractive for its plausible deniability. I think the judge threw out a lot of that. Like you heard, he didn't believe any of Erin's evidence and he didn't believe any of her explanations for anything, really. So I don't think anyone's going to try it again because one, this case was so high profile. Two, she tried the whole, it was an accidental poisoning and no one believed it. It was very quickly underwritten as a lie. So, hey, Simi, good to see you. Wendy asked it, I wonder what her appeal will look like. I don't know. I reckon I have a funny feeling it's going to be about the sentence, possibly, because her defense really didn't add anything to stop Justice Beale from giving her a whole life order. And I somewhat wonder if the reason he gave her a parole period was also to thwart an appeal. If he had given her a whole life order, then maybe they could have appealed saying it was manifestly excessive. But I wonder if he gave her the parole period. I wonder if she tried to appeal on it. They say, well, he already showed you leniency in his sentencing. I don't know, but maybe because, yeah, they really didn't push back on the sentencing at all. They were just like, oh, you have to sentence her. You have requirements and outlines. Well, go for it. Like you heard Justice Beale say, they really didn't offer anything to him as a factor to reduce that sentence other than her living conditions in jail. So I would wonder if that might be it. Gail said, can she get a tablet and TV now? She already has a TV and she already has a laptop. I don't know if she'll continue to have a laptop, but maybe. Carolina said, Ping, 33 years seems so little of a prison sentence for all the pain and suffering her victims suffered, though. I agree. I think you see look at all the media that's covering this today. It was live on national TV. We had another TV going while we're watching the live stream here. We had a TV going over here. It was showing on all the channels, and I'm sure it's showing on Reuters and AP and wire services across the world. So you see that and you see what her offending has done. It's so abnormal. It's so out of the ordinary. But, the sentence was not. Here we go. I don't want to be critical of Justice Beale. I think he has a job to do. And it's a job that I think a lot of us in bravado would say that we'd love to do it. But I think at the same time, his job is very difficult. Yeah, he has a lot of things to weigh up and a lot of laws and rules and stuff that he has to abide by. So I wouldn't want to trade places with him. Laura T said, Ping, did you ever imagine that this case would get the attention it has almost 3 years ago when you started covering it? No, no, not even in the slightest. No. When we started covering this, it was just a small paragraph in a local paper about this big. It was like that big in a paper. And it basically said some people had been admitted to hospital for potentially death cap poisoning. And within about a week of that being in the paper, we had a update from the homicide squad, and then it all just took off. And Even before I went to trial earlier this year, I didn't think it was going to be like this. It has been bonkers. It has been one of the craziest cases I think I've ever covered. But just the media attention, how many people were at the trial. There were lines at the door when Erin was giving evidence in her own defense. There was lines out the door. There was media. There were people from the public wanting to come in and sit in the gallery. It was pretty bonkers. Uh, hey, Texas Annie. TV got to be boring as if though all day long in solitary. It would be pretty monotonous for sure. Get Anthony Gangi on here and show him that prison. Uh, Send me his details, Danny. I don't know who that is. You're probably gonna be like, he's the most famous person to escape from a jail, and I'll be like, I don't know who that is. Yeah, it blew up. It definitely did. There's been, like Ping interviewed for a documentary. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be coming to fruition. But it was a great experience. Got to meet two guys that work for this documentary team. Both lovely people. I like them. They we keep in touch here and there. Uh, but it would have been nice to be a part of it. But it'll be a good documentary when it comes out. I think you guys should watch it. And it's been mental. There's like several documentaries, a TV drama, several podcasts, including my own. Uh, it's unheard of for many Australian cases don't get like this. Some, but not many. Carolina said high profile for sure. I absolutely respect his honor. In my opinion, Aaron Patterson had a very good defense team. They presented a great case. Um, Aaron's team did a very good job at poking holes in the evidence. I can't tell you too much more than that because there's still some stuff going on in the background. But I can just tell you that throughout the trial, I noticed what a good job in certain aspects. I know some people are critical of some other aspects of her defense, but he did do a good job at poking holes in evidence or, you know, uh, just manipulating it for the benefit of Erin. But the jury saw through it, and the facts of the case shone brightly enough that there was no real way back from it. The facts outweighed any type of defense that they could do. Lux said people in prison shouldn't have a better life than a lot of homeless people, even those who live in poverty. I wouldn't trade places with Erin where she is. I think she's in a pretty harsh environment. She can't get anything for herself. She can't move anywhere. She's basically in a box. Imagine if you were in a coffin and alive, like she can't go anywhere by herself. She's not even allowed to go and get her own medication from the doctor's sort of medical bit. They have to bring it to her. They have to bring her food to her. She can't go and get her food like other prisoners can. So she's very restricted in what she can do. Sugar Cat says, thank you for all those live sessions and your efforts to deliver this case to us. You are welcome. I did it for all my viewers. I did the hundreds of hours of court for them because they helped the channel and funded the channel and funded the trial for me and got me to the trial. So it's all the people that you see in the chat. They are the ones that I do all the coverage for. I do it for them. So people like you. Andrew says, BS, let's talk to Jumpsuit Pablo. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's go up here. All right. Let me see if there's an update out here. If there, we should be actually, let me check my emails. Hold on, guys. Where's my phone? Yeah, let me check my emails. We were supposed to be getting an update out of the Supreme Court. I just don't know if we've got it yet. Nothing yet. Actually, why is that doing that? Yeah, nothing yet, but we are expecting to be getting a copy of that sentencing, and I will show it to you again when I have it. So I will post it online when I get it. So we're supposed to be getting a copy at some point. Um, does he know about Aussie prisons though? I don't know. Did 10 years for robbery at 20. That's a brutal sentence. Warner Steele said, Erin is not free, nor will she be for at least the next 33 years. Yeah, I think that's the way you got to look at it. It's at least the next 33 years, unless something drastic happens, like an appeal or a new trial or something. Yeah, we did get an update. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, yay. Okay. Yeah. Yes, that is great news. All right, we just got one of our. We're expecting a lot of updates. So, what is going on? Okay. Okay, that's weird. Guys, give me one sec. I've got something I want to bring to you. We just got it out of the Supreme Court. 1 minute. All right. So, I can refer you to some of what was given here. I'll take you down to what he says about Muffin. What do you want to go? You want to stay or you want to go? Yeah, I'll take you down to what he says here in her sentencing, if I can get to it. Yeah, okay. So in his sentencing, uh, Justice Christopher Beale, included this information. You guys would have heard it in the sentencing we just watched. He says, according to Miss Hoskins' evidence, included the confirmation of the following matters: that Erin has a maximum security rating and major offender status. The fuck? Hold on, guys. Sorry, guys. We got someone just started angle grinding outside my house. I was like, why? Or now, all of like right when I was about to talk about all this. So he says here, Justice Beale says in his sentencing remarks that she has a maximum security rating and a major offender status, And they say because of the nature of your crimes and your notoriety, you have been assessed as being at significant risk from other prisoners. They said you have not been assessed as posing a risk to other prisoners. You have spent approximately 16 months of your 22 months at Dame Phyllis Frost Center in a management unit called the Gordon Unit, and the rest of the time in a protection unit called the Murray Unit. So there you go. A management unit is more restrictive than a protection unit. You have been in the Gordon unit continuously for the last 15 months. The Gordon unit has about 20 cells. You are not permitted to mix with other women in the Gordon unit. You have spent at least 22 hours in your cell every day that you have been in the Gordon unit. There have been 16 days since November of 2024 where, because of lockdowns, you have been confined to your cell for the entire 24 hours per day. The maximum period that a prisoner in the Gordon unit could have been out of their cell on any given day is 4 hours, but they said that that wouldn't happen very often. Your meals and medicine are currently delivered through a flap in your cell door. There is a small concrete yard, approximately 2 meters by 1.5 meters, which adjoins your cell. With permission, you may access for fresh air. And they said, if prisoners are using the larger exercise yard, which abuts your exercise yard, you may not use your small yard. And they go on to say, Justice Beale goes on to say, during your time in the Gordon unit, you have barely had any contact with other individuals. And he talks about permission is required for you to communicate with any other prisoner, which, according to your counsel, is complicated by the fact that you are not informed of the identities of other prisoners in the Gordon unit. So there's some of the conditions in Justice Beale's evidence sentencing for you. Danny says, "Thank you for reminding me." And hair straightener. Oh yeah, she has a hair straightener. Yeah, yeah. Someone in my backyard is angle grinding, so we back onto another property, and they've got an angle grinder out there grinding something. They picked a great time to do that. Um, And they go on to say here, permission is required for you to communicate with any other prisoner. They say you currently have approval to communicate with one other prisoner in the Gordon unit through a wire mesh when the two of you are permitted to use your respective adjoining exercise yards. That other prisoner is undergoing a lengthy sentence for other offenses and has attacked other prisoners. You did not ask to communicate with that person and have not communicated with her. The suggestion that you should communicate with her was made by a corrections officer. So there you go. Danny says you back onto another property, cruel and unusual. It is a bit unusual. That is right. So there you go. A bit of background and some more from his sentencing remarks today. I don't know. Ping, thank you, Lux. I appreciate it. JDR said, "Is Web Sleuth going to be on tonight?" I don't know. Let me see. I the next show I see booked for Web Sleuth is tomorrow night at 10:30 Eastern. So they have a show booked. I can see it on our panel, called John's Lies and Crime Con Recap. That's tomorrow night at 10:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central. So there you go. Well, yeah, tomorrow is the one I see it booked for. Yeah, Trisha said Monday. Yeah. Hey, Nicole, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, I think they're on Monday. So no show from them tonight. Tonight is a Sunday. By the way, my 49ers won today. Good work, Niners. Very happy with that. Very happy with them winning today. All right. So that was the sentencing. Where do we go from here? I think is the next thing I should talk to you about, right? Where do we go from here? Well, like I said, 28 days from now, Erin has the chance to lodge her appeal for various different facets of the case which she could appeal against. I expect that appeal to be done. I would think that that's a certainty. I don't think she'll accept the sentence lying down. I think they will try for that appeal. So within the next 28 days, we would hear about that. I don't think I've seen an update unless one of the media has it. Yeah, we didn't get to see her in court. Like I said, we only got to see Justice Beale. What are they saying here about her? Yeah, they're saying Erin showed no emotion as she was sentenced in court. I think we picked that Erin wasn't going to show any emotion. She hasn't throughout the entire trial, so I wouldn't expect her to start doing that now. So yeah, that was a given. Hey, Miss Harmony, how are you? Miss Harmony says, "Hey, just jumping in to say hi. That this was a crazy case. Was a long case. Yeah, she does. So we heard in the hearing about a few weeks ago that as part of her conditions in jail that we were hearing about, that she does have crochet um, implements, or I don't know what they call them, but she has wool and crochet tools that she can use in her cell. Apparently, she's a very big crochet person. So yeah, we did hear about that. Let me see if there's anything else here. So apparently, Ian Wilkinson spoke to the media today outside the Supreme Court. He thanked the police for their efforts and he said they made a professional, efficient, and effective investigation into what happened at the lunch. They brought to light the truth of what happened to three good people. He also thanked the Office of Public Prosecutions and Nanette Rogers, who was lead prosecutor. They say the court processes are a little bewildering to lay people like me, and we are grateful for their expertise, their hard work, and their perseverance that has secured this conviction. He says he'd also like to commend them for their kindness and compassion showed to us throughout this long process. Ian Wilkinson also thanked the health workers and messages of support he has received. He says, I'd like to encourage all those involved to keep turning up and serving others. Our lives and the life of our community depends on the kindness of others. I would like to encourage everybody to be kind to each other. He says, I thank the people of Leongatha and Currumbara communities in particular. Your thoughtfulness and care has been a great encouragement to us. You know, Ian Wilkinson has shown a great deal of strength, both inward and outward, during the trial process. And he has, for a man who was poisoned with death cap mushrooms, survived with the help of a liver transplant, went through literally, I read through the trial documents, he went through hell and back to be here today, to stand on the steps of that Supreme Court and give that statement. That man has literally just b I don't even know how to explain it to you, but I don't know if any of us would be able to go through it and be as strong of a guy as he is to be able to give a statement on the Supreme Court steps today. I think we should all listen to what Ian Wilkinson has to say and try and be good to each other, try and be kind to each other. And if there's one thing we can take from this is that many of the positives we heard from this case was about how kind and loving the victims were and how much a lot of their lives were devoted to spreading that throughout their communities and their church. So I think that if there was one silver lining to take from that is that we should all try to be nice to each other a bit more often and try and spread good things, not bad things. So yeah, what a great guy. Really, really appreciated him throughout the trial. Lux said, "What is the point of straightening your hair when you're alone in yourself?" I don't know why she wants a hair straightener. JDR said, "What about her ex-husband? Are they divorced?" I don't have a marriage update for you from Erin and Simon. I would suspect that he will probably get a divorce at some point. I don't know when that would happen or if it has already happened. I don't know. It's none of my business. I don't know. He will do what he sees fit. He is also a strong dude. He'll do what he has to do. Wendy R says, "Hey Ping, when do you think you'll be able to talk openly about this case in full?" Uh, it could be a while. I would say that right now you guys have heard like 99% of it. I don't think there's really all that much left to tell you. I think most of what we had at trial, you guys know. I don't think there's any big bombshells to come or anything super secret. So I think I would just say that besides anything about children, which I will never give out, um, like anything else that's hanging around in the background, it's like 1% of like the entire case. So don't think there's any like giant bombshells coming later on or anything. Like most of it, you guys know. So Nicole said, "Is she allowed to keep her money?" Well, I don't know. They did have an order put on her property. I I don't know how that'll work or if she had the money to satisfy those orders, would she save the property or that is something we will probably find out in due course. So I don't know. Danny said, "To be fair, none of this is our business or concern." I would agree. Uh, JDRC, I say the lawyer's got any money. She would have paid him a lot of money. Rachel said, "I hope Simon finds someone and can enjoy some of his life again." I do too. I do too. Laurie said, "Did you see where Trisha and John Ramsey are in a picture together?" No. Someone send me that photo. Hold. Sorry, I needed a drink. I needed a drink. Yeah, I didn't see that photo. Someone send it to me, please. I would appreciate it. All right. Yep. All right. I don't know what time we will have some of the things like the replay of the sentencing remarks or anything like that. I think it'll be possibly later today. I think you guys have heard just about everything now. Wendy asked it. I heard Trisha say, "Wait until you hear about John Ramsey." Okay, I'll ask her in private. I want to know now. We'll see. Maybe she accepted that. Maybe he accepted her $10,000 offer. I don't know if he did, but we'll see. Rachel said, "Yeah, I hope you find someone." Yeah. Let me double check if there's any updates coming out. There's a couple of things I do want to know. I just don't know if there's been any update for it. Yeah, so apparently Patterson will be the longest serving female inmate in Victoria due to her sentence. There you go. That is pretty crazy. And then her deadline appeal, so her 28 days start today. She has until October 6th. October 6th is her deadline. Now, that's not a hard deadline. We were told that while that is sort of the legal given, 28 days to lodge any sort of like appeal, after the 28 days, it still can be done. It's just harder and it's done in a different process. But she has 28 days from today, which would make it October 6th. Let's see. Oh, we're getting updates all over the shop today. Thanks, Dennis. That is John Ramsey. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Danny, DJ. It worries me that she's hugging John Ramsey. Yeah, I don't know if I can share this. Hold on. I'll share it with you guys. This is from DJ. There's Trish and John Ramsey embracing. Who would have ever seen the day this would ever happen? Who would ever? I think hell has frozen over. Hell has frozen over. I think so. I think that's exactly what's happened. You guys tune in tomorrow night to Web Sleuths Live and see what the hell this is about. I think we all need to know now what is going on. So she finally did it. She did not get arrested for tackling him. There you go. Hami said she'll throw darts at it. She may. She may. Winter Steel said there has to be a place where brutality can be saved for the worst of us. I wish we could get to the point where we are returning people to society with real skills. Well, in Erin's case, hopefully not cooking skills because we don't need that from her. We don't need any cooking skills from Erin in society. Is that AI or real? I have no idea. Don't ask me. I don't know. Someone sent it to me. It could be real. It could be AI. I don't know. Pick one. It's real. Okay. There you go. Maybe she accepted his offer of $10,000 to do an interview. She might be doing a bit of both. She might be doing a bit of both. It looks real. It could be real. It could be. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. So big day today, everyone. It's been a crazy, crazy day so far. Very early day. That live stream that we showed you from the courthouse took a little bit of finagling in the background. Like I said, we thanked our broadcast partner, which was the ABC. The ABC, we worked with them in the background to be able to legally rebroadcast their stream, and I want to thank them. Thank you to the staff at the BBC, at the ABC. Thank you to the staff at the ABC. They were very kind, very professional, and accommodated our channel with no hesitation. So I appreciate everyone at the ABC. The other thing is the Supreme Court of Victoria, who opened up their courtroom to a TV camera, which is a rarity. It's just never really happened. And want to thank the Supreme Court of Victoria and everyone else involved in making that happen. Gail said she bought 5 books someone else wrote and got him to sign them all. What? Why would you get someone to sign a book they didn't write? Are they about John Benet Ramsey? Or are they like about some other serial killer? And she's like, John, sign my book. I'd like to know. John said, surprised the bunny ears aren't begging. Yeah. That's just bizarre. Oh, to keep him talking. So now she's got 5 random books by different authors about different crimes, signed by John Ramsey. Okay. Signing the books to keep John talking. Oh my god. Carolina said, thank you so much. You worked really hard on the Erin Patterson case, so many hours. Thank you. I appreciate it. It was a lot of hours. I don't even know how many I put into it this year. I think it's hundreds of hours, and I can't even quantify how many hours it was. It's got to be like 500 hours, maybe more. I'm not even sure. Erin is a lousy cook, pre-made dough. I don't know. We shouldn't let her near a kitchen at all. Miss Harmony said, "Is that court broadcast available to watch?" No, but I will have a copy that I can show to you a bit later that I can upload on the channel. That'll be available to me, I think, this afternoon. So the one that we watch with the ABC, we should be getting a copy of it where we can upload it for you guys to watch. So I just don't know when we're going to get it. When I spoke to the staff there, they just weren't sure how long it would take them to sort of get it done and upload it. And so I don't want to pressure them. They've been really good. Whenever they have it, I'll do it. So they were very kind. Wendy said, "Yes, Fenton, thank you. I appreciate it. And I thank you guys, all the people. I wish I had all the names in front of me of all the people who supported this channel throughout the trial, all the people who donated to get me to the trial and uh, give me enough cash to get through the trial. Like it was an expensive endeavor to do this for like 4 months. It was not cheap, and I appreciate it. All those people. If you sent in a donation, or were a member, or sent in a super chat or a super thanks to help with the trial costs, I appreciate it. It did not go unnoticed, and each time I had to spend a bit of that money, I was like, very cautious with it because it came from people who wanted me to use it to bring them more content from the trial. So I very much appreciate it. Hug said, "Is your second channel up and running?" It is up. We have made it, but we weren't going to use it until the trial completed. So sometime after today, we will do some live streams on it now. Now that this process is sort of finished and we're done with Erin's court process for now, we will start using the second channel. So. John said, "Hats off to you, Ping. Plus, all you and Mrs. Ping were going through." Yeah, having someone in hospital for 2 months and having to do a live trial at the same time was not easy. I appreciate it. Wendy said, "I can't wait for the next Ping trial coverage. Next trial is looking like it'll be Samantha Murphy. So it'll be early next year, around the same time that Erin started. So around the same time that Erin started this year, Samantha Murphy, Patrick Oren Stevenson, his trial is starting around the same time. I think it's mid-April. So we will be at that one as well. We will be at that particular trial. If there's anything between now and then that we pick up on the radar that's going into trial, I will do that too. But at this point, I don't have anything on my books that I'm really, sort of interested in, but I will keep looking. Marley said, "Don't forget to like and subscribe." I would appreciate it. Uh, it's been hundreds and hundreds of hours to bring you all this coverage. And if there's one thing you could do to help me out, if you can't donate or become a member or those type of things, and I appreciate that we're all in a cost of living crisis right now. You could hit that subscribe button. That would really, really help. Getting that number up is sort of the game on YouTube, so I would appreciate it. Wendy said, "Samantha Murphy, I remember this." Samantha Murphy is a woman who went missing 2020, 2024. I'm probably getting the year wrong if it was 2024 or 2023, but she went missing in February, went out for a jog, and was never seen again. And they arrested a man called Patrick Oren Stevenson over her murder. But we don't know a lot of what actually happened. It's a little, we're in that trial phase, so all the information is starting to lock down. Sort of the same thing that happened with Erin, how we didn't hear anything for like 18 months. Same thing with this particular one with Samantha Murphy. We're in that trial phase, working our way to trial next year. There's hearings in the background. There's stuff going on, which means we can't report on it. But I am doing my work in the background on it. Diane said, "Did you have a good time doing the trial, Ping?" I did. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed meeting the people, meeting all the different reporters and the different journalists and things like that. That was really interesting and very you know, cool to see how like they work and how they get their stories done. I could see how they were like working their articles and things like that on their laptops and stuff. It was really interesting insight into how they get their work done. It was nice to meet everyone at the Supreme Court. To meet them in person and work with them every day. They were some of the nicest people I've ever talked to. They were lovely. Uh, getting to be so involved in the trial process, being so close to the trial, traveling out to Morwell, being at the actual trial where it was happening, and being throughout the whole process every day at the courthouse was cool. And yeah, definitely had fun. I think it was extremely stressful too, but that's work. It just is stressful. DJ said Samantha Murphy was a 51-year-old Australian woman who went missing on the 4th of February 2024. So it was 24, not 23. Yeah, so they have arrested a guy. He's in jail. He's being held until trial. His name is Patrick Oren Stevenson, and he is accused of killing Samantha Murphy and hiding her body. Where her body is, we don't know, but she has never been located. So I will be at her trial at his trial for her murder next year. So that'll be the next one. Then we have Isla Bell. Isla Bell, if that ever makes it to trial, I will be at that trial too for those two guys. So I don't know when that'll be. If it's going to be next year, it may be like late next year, like October, November, something like that. It could even be 2026 by the time that one makes it to trial. Sugar Cat says, looking forward to Samantha Murphy's trial. Me too. I really want to know what happened to her, and I want to see someone be held accountable for her not being able to come home. It's horrible to me that her family don't know where she is. They still live in the area. Every day they have to drive around, go to the shops, go grocery shopping, and they must be thinking like Samantha could be just there, and they don't know, and that is a type of mental torture for that family. So, I would like to do that trial next year. Carolina says Australia keep tight-lipped about their upcoming trials, so different from here in the States in the end. I think it's a very good thing, except for trial junkies like myself. Yeah, the whole lockdown procedure during pre-trial and then leading into the trial itself is an interesting aspect of Australian law. Um, but you guys saw how it played out with Erin, and we got a result, a conviction. So maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it gives people a fair trial without flooding the media with accusations before the actual trial. So Marlene said the man charged comes from money. He does. His dad was an AFL player. Marley said didn't realize her body was never found. Yeah, never found. Diane said, "How is Mrs. Ping?" Doing okay. We had a family dinner yesterday for Father's Day, which was good. We had a good day. Got to see different family members and her father and things like that. It was a good day. We had a nice lunch, and yeah, we had a good day. She's doing okay. Some days good, some days bad. It's just sort of a bit up and down, so you can never really guess what it's going to be like. Uh, who's emailing me? Okay. All right. All right, guys. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump off the air for now until we get that replay that we can use, so I can show it to you again and we can sort of go through it. But if you missed it, Erin Patterson was sentenced to 25 years for the attempted murder of Ian Wilkinson. For the other three, she was sentenced to a non-parole period of 33 years. She'll be around. Sorry, I thought she was going to be 83, but I think she'll be 80, early 80s, 81. She'll be 81 when. Sorry, I thought it was 83, but she'll be 81. Sorry, I forgot that she was 48 when she was originally sentenced, so she got time served for already being in jail. Sorry, mathematics in Ping's head. Not always the greatest thing. So she'll be early 80s, should she even get a shot at parole. So it'll be 81. I forgot that they take that time into account. So, oh, she did? Sorry. Hey, Jay gifted 5 memberships. Hey, Jay, thank you so much. I appreciate it for spreading the love of the channel. Sugar Cat, hey, my friend, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. It does go to funding more trials that we can go and do. So I very much appreciate it. Thank you for being a part of making this coverage happen. Appreciate it. Diane said, will she serve the whole time or about? I think she'll serve the whole thing. it's a non-parole period, so she can't even get, talk about getting out until then. So yeah, so she was 48 when she was originally arrested. They took her time into custody into account. They gave her 33 years, so that means she'll be 81 when she'll be eligible to apply for parole. So there you go. The thumbnail is crooked. 33 years before, it'll be a little less now. So she's not going to be like 33 years from today. It's more like 31 years from today because she's already been in jail almost 2 years. So they took sort of 2 years off it. It'll be 31 years from today. So there you go. So yeah, 33. I forgot that they took into account her time served. There you go. What else do we have here? Yeah, it just showed no emotion. I think that's about it. By the way, there's a huge story in New Zealand. Hold on. I want to see if they did an update for it. Do you guys remember that dad that went missing into the bushland with his children? He was shot and killed. There was a police shootout early this morning in New Zealand, and he was shot and killed. So I don't know if you guys remember this one. It's been a while since I talked about it, but he had taken his children and got off and lived in the bushland or whatever. They killed him this morning. He was robbing a store in New Zealand, and he got into a shootout with police. He shot a cop, and the cop shot him and killed him. So Tom Phillips, he is dead. He has been killed. Huge story out in New Zealand. That guy has been on the run for like years. So here's the photo of him. You guys may remember when we talked about this, and his 3 children. So he was on the run for almost 4 years. So yeah, there was a shootout last night. Let me see if I can grab that press conference so we can have a look at it. Where is it? Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Jill Rogers, and I'm the Relieving Deputy Commissioner for the Northern Districts. With me this morning is the Acting District Commander, Andrea Macbeth, and the OC of the investigation into the missing children, and Tom Phillips, Detective Senior Sergeant Andy Saunders. What I can tell you is that at about 2:30 a.m. today, police received a call from a member of the public that they believed they were witnessing a burglary in action at a rural farm supply store in Pule. Information came to police that described 2 people on a quad bike, dressed in farm clothing and wearing headlamps. Knowing the information that we had previously had that had seen Tom Phillips also in this area, additional staff were called out and responded to that location. The quad bike was observed travelling along the Waipuna Road, which is a rural gravel road that intersects with Tianga Road, which is the main road that leads back to Marakopa. At about 3:20 this morning, officers laid spikes at that intersection. The quad bike has run over the spikes. The 2 occupants have been on that bike, and it has come to a rest on this rural road a short time later. The first attending police officer at that scene has come across that stopped quad bike and been confronted by gunfire at close range. Our officer has been struck in the head. He's immediately fallen to the ground and taken cover. Soon after, a second patrol unit arrived and has engaged the offender, and he has died at the scene. We were also supported by the air support unit from Auckland, who have landed, and despite the efforts of attending staff and the air support team, this male was pronounced dead at the scene. The formal identification of this male is yet to take place, but we believe him to be Tom Phillips. A second person was located at the scene, and multiple firearms were located on and around the quad bike. Our injured officer has been airlifted to Waikato Hospital by the Westpac Rescue, and he is undergoing surgery as we speak. He has received critical injuries and will require numerous surgeries. As you can appreciate, a significant investigation is now underway, so there will be a large police presence in the Marakopa area, particularly around Tianga Road. We are making urgent inquiries to locate Tom Phillips's other children who we hold serious concerns for. The child located at the scene is being provided wraparound support, and we will not be providing any other comment at this time on their location. We have been in touch with the family of Tom Phillips, and we will be working to provide them available support. We are also providing support to our staff member who has been injured and the other staff who were on scene. This has been a deeply traumatic incident this morning for those involved. It has been confronting and challenging in a small, rural, isolated location. I understand that you'll have a number of questions about this incident, but at this time we have very limited information that we can provide to you. A critical incident has been stood up. A critical incident investigation has been commenced, and we are now working to establish a complete timeline of the events as they have unfolded this morning. The IPCA has been notified, as we are required to do in incidents of this nature, and we will release further information to you as soon as we are able to do so. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are the remaining children armed, and do you believe they're a risk to themselves or others?
We hold serious concerns for those children, and our focus is on finding them.
Were any other officers, members of the public being shot at during the incident?
Not that we know at this stage, but it is in the early stages of our investigation, and you can imagine that staff on the scene were deeply traumatised by what they had seen unfold this morning, particularly involving a fatal police shooting.
And was the child who you believe to be Tom Phillips, were they injured during the shootout?
No, that child has been cared for and they are not injured.
Is there any evidence that the child was, or the second person was involved in any shooting themselves?
It's too early to establish any of those sorts of factors. This is the really early stages of our investigation, so I can't comment on that at this stage.
But in terms of the firearms, how many firearms were there and what were they?
We've located multiple firearms, and we know that our officer was shot with a high-powered rifle.
Sorry, just to clarify, do you know where the other two children are?
No, we are actively seeking them as we speak.
Do you have any idea about the general vicinity or area?
We'll continue to make inquiries, and locating them is our...
Wow, that's yeah, the hunt must be on for where those other children are located. Yes, I can give you a update on some more of like particulars about this. Just hold on, guys. My emails are going mental. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can give you some better updates on this about how this all worked, how this happened. So let me look up and I'll show you a map. So it's in New Zealand, and don't ask me to pronounce these towns because I can't do it. I don't live in New Zealand. But let me get you an image or a map. So this is the region here. So it's in this part of New Zealand. So if I go out, it's in this little red outline here. So it's in the North Island of New Zealand. So that's the north, that's the south. So the south one you may know like Christchurch and Queenstown. You may know the north one for Auckland and Wellington. So they're the two different ones. If we zoom in, it was over here. So this is where it happened today in New Zealand. Ask me to pronounce the town. I ain't going to be able to. But that gives you sort of the geographical of it. And what else are they saying here? So it was like 1 degree overnight, high of 17, but as low as 1 overnight in the area last night. Very cold. So it's Tom Phillips. He's originally from Maricopa. He was on the run with his 3 children for normally 4 years, and he's been shot dead by police after trying to commit a robbery. They're saying that they have 1 child in custody, and now they're looking for the other 2. So where the other 2 are, I don't know, but that's horrific. I hope they find them quickly, because they need help. Now that dad's not going to come back, and I use the word protect very lightly, but he kept them alive for 4 years. So, but there's no one to help them. So I hope they can track him down quickly. They need some help. They need to find them urgently. Hopefully, the one that is in custody can lead them to where their siblings are, because they need to be found. Very sad end to it. The police just last week told Tom to come in, hand yourself in, and they would sort of forget about the robbery charge that he was facing. They just wanted the children to be safe, so they're like, hand yourself in. We'll forget about the robbery charge, and let's end this non-violently. And less than a week later, what happens? He is shot dead by police after him also firing on the police. So it ended in the way that we all sort of hoped it wouldn't. I think even the police in New Zealand hoped it wouldn't end this way, and unfortunately, it sort of did. It ended the way that everyone really didn't want it to go this way, and less than a week later, it happened. So yeah, they will need a lot of help, a lot of help. How old is this guy? How old is he now? I don't know. They don't have an age on him? I don't have an age. I'm not sure. He would have to be in his like 40s. You'd think so anyway. He's probably 38 or something, but I'm not sure. I'll find it for you eventually. I just want to read this bit here. Hold on. So it sounds like they may have robbed a business about 3:30 a.m. local time and then were approached by police. Um, they were confronted by a lone officer. Tom shot the officer in the head with a high-powered rifle, and when a second police car turned up, Phillips was shot dead and the child was taken into custody. So let me look up his age. Um, I don't know. It's weird how they don't list his name in all this. I really don't know. It's like I'm even on the Wikipedia and it doesn't have an age for him. Let's see. I got no idea. It's not showing up in the Google searches either. Heather said he has destroyed those child's lives. I agree. The children will have a hard time coping. Yeah, it's the other 2 may not even know what happened. They may have been hiding somewhere and they don't know why the dad and the other sibling hasn't come back. Like they may have been waiting and waiting and waiting. Like they may not know what has gone on. I don't. I can give you their ages when they went missing. I don't know how old they would be today. Tom Phillips. Let's see if it's in here. Yeah, ping's a bad source of information for this one. I just know that it came up this morning when I was doing my setup for Erin. I saw it pop up in the breaking news. So they're saying here in 2024, the eldest daughter was going to have her 11th birthday in June. So she would be 12 now, and if she's the oldest, then the other ones are younger than that. So they're pretty young. They're pretty young. He's in his late 30s. I thought he'd be late 30s, early 40s, something like that. Yeah, 1 degree overnight. 1 degree. Very, very cold. Let me check my things here. Yep. All right. I think we're going to go for now until I can get. Okay. Awesome. I think I'm going to go. I will see you as soon as I get the replay video. I will come back and we'll do more Erin Patterson, okay? And I'll let you watch the sentencing again, or you can watch our live stream that we did before. You can watch that, and that has Justice Beale's entire sentencing on it. This is a very sad story. Tom Phillips dead after a shootout with police. One of the children found, but not the other two. That is, I hope they find them. They've got to find them quickly. I will be back later today to hang out with you some more. I hope you enjoyed the coverage of Erin Patterson. I wanted to show you this before I left. I wasn't the only one that got the thing wrong. Someone else also quoted in their article that she would be around 83. So apparently a few of us didn't take into her time served. So I was not the only one. There you go. Another media member also said 83. I will see you. I will see you then. It's been an early morning. Don't think I've ever done a live show at 9:30 in the morning ever. I don't think I've ever done it. So a rare early live show from me. I'll see you then. That's the end of the Erin Patterson case. That's it for now. We'll wait for any appeal over the next 28 days. We're finally at the end of the road, everyone, after a long, what was it, like 4 months. Love you all. Thank you to everyone who supports this channel. We will do more trials in the future. We're going to be at Samantha Murphy next year, and I'll bring you more from the Supreme Court when I can. Good night, everyone. Bye.